Hey, welcome to the Elle Russ Show, where we explore ways to get healthy, wealthy, and wise. With a combination of guest interviews and solo episodes, I hope you will be inspired and motivated to become the best of whatever you are. I'm Elle Russ, #1 best-selling author and subject expert with over a decade of helping thousands of people across the globe. Visit my website, elleruss.com, to learn more about free guides, masterclasses, online courses, and more. Enjoy the show. All right, everyone. Today we've got Kyle Hudson on the show. He's the CEO and founder of Stacklist. We're going to get into what that is. I currently use it. It's a lot of fun, very useful. And I've known Kyle for, my gosh, I think at least 15 years at this point.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So let's start at the beginning because, I've always known you as a techie when we met. You've done major website design and mapping out, I guess you would say, for lots of large companies. So you've been in the sort of, you've been interested in tech for a while and recently created this company. So let's just go back and talk a little bit about your experience in tech and then what led you to go, hold on a second, I got an idea.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I've been in digital and tech for 20, coming on 24 years now. And typically I've been running projects and programs for larger companies, doing initiatives for Marriott and Google and Harley and Spotify and people like that. And that was great from an experience perspective. But funny enough, I hit my 45th birthday last year. And there was something about that. Also, it coincided with launching a large $2 million website for a big foundation in New York. And after launching it, it only took about a week. And the agency I was working for was like, great, we got to get another one of those projects. But I don't know why it felt so hamster wheel and that I had been doing this for so long. But also I had been solving all these problems for so many other companies. And in the sort of traditional 9 to 5 kind of working up the ladder and those sort of things, that's just not really how my brain works. So I took the leap. I had an idea I'd been just roommating for like 3 or 4 years. And over those years, I got more and more validation that this was something that was a problem. And so I took the leap. I basically spent $500 on Upwork and worked with a developer who made a quick, rough prototype. And when I got that prototype and I saw how it worked, the hairs on my arms, I just got that. I just saw it, but I saw all the way into the future about how this could come to life. And that was the moment. I was like, all right, well, I'm all in. So, yeah.
Yeah. And
we've been
I just
working on
want to
this for
highlight
6
that
months.
thing too of finding, something comes up in your mind, like, I'm seeing this pattern of a thing that could be solved. Like it's kind of a quote problem, right? It's not like a traumatic problem, right? We're not talking.
Right. Yeah.
But let's talk about that. What was the problem you saw? Because we'll get into what Stacklist is, but what was the problem you were like, wait a minute, there's something off about this world over here?
You and I are having a chat. We're having a glass of wine. We're at a party, and you tell me all about the trip to Maui that you took, and you're describing the restaurants and the hotel you stayed at, and you went to this great place to do paragliding, and you're communicating the enthusiasm. And for that moment, you're also this little sort of nano influencer about this trip. And
right. Even if you don't have a social media account, that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Right, exactly. You're basically, you're sharing all of these things and everyone's listening. And someone says, that sounds like an amazing trip. Can you send me the places that you went? And there's just this sort of moment where you think, okay, yeah, how would I do that? I guess do I need to sit in front of my computer for 30, 40 minutes and make a custom Google Doc? It's so funny to me to have such amazing experiences, and we're over platformed. We've got a history in Airbnb and a wish list in Airbnb, and we've got Google Maps and our Gmail and Instagram bookmarks. But you don't, until you really sit back and look at it, you don't realize that our lives and our favorite things are sort of across 20 or 30 platforms at any given time. And so when you want to be able to share some of your favorite things, it actually becomes a chore to sort of hunt those down and create some sort of form factor that you can send to somebody.
You almost get to the point where you're like, I'm not even gonna tell people the stories because I don't want to have to give them recommendations.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But actually,
No,
what it is
wait.
too is let's go back to that scenario where we're at the table. I'm telling everyone about my trip to Maui. But then one
Hmm.
person's like, oh my God, I would love that. Give me all that information. And the other person's like, I already have a place to stay, but I'd love to know the restaurants. Or what about that lavender farm? And then you're like, oh, F, what am I going to do? Curate three different emails and texts to these people about the different things that they wanted from that. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it gets a little bit. Well, here's the other thing too. I want to, and we'll get into more. I know I'm sort of getting ahead of myself, but like, let's say you're a person again. You don't have to be an influencer or anything. It could just be me, where people are asking me, like, "Hey, when I come to LA, where should I go in Malibu?" Or, what do you
Hmm.
love? Like, what kind of sheets do you use? Or like just whatever it is. If people keep asking you, like maybe you're a movie person and everyone's always asking you if you've seen any good movies lately. I'll be honest with you, over a period of time, and I'm a movie buff, uh, you kind of forget some of the good ones you just saw, and you're like, what was that one? But this way you could make a list somewhere. It's
Yeah.
whatever thing you're down for and that people are coming to you for. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Anyway, let's get into a little bit about why is this different then, Kyle, than Linktree or Link in Bio or any of these other places where I can just post links of my favorite things.
So I think the problem that I first identified as we started building this out is you go to a link tree or link in bio or Comey or campsite or any of those, it it is what it says. It's just links. But let's say you have a 10 ways bicycle that is your favorite and that you also are a sponsor of and that you have a discount code. What if I'm not in the mood at that moment to buy a $1,300 bicycle? Like, do I need to just remember that that was on your link in bio, or do I open it and save it in Google Chrome as bike I might buy in the future? Like, there's not really a good place to, and some people have workarounds and hacks for this, right? I take it and I copy and paste it and I put it into a special Notion document that I have of things I might want to buy in the future. But it all of a sudden it becomes so much work and overhead. And, that's where we really turn that into there's a Chrome extension and you just hit it and it pulls the title and the address of the page you're looking at. And you type a couple of notes for context, just like you do when you text somebody. You send a link and then you send a couple of notes like, hey, this was the thing I was talking to you about. And then you hit save, and now it's in your account. And so when you're ready to buy a $1,300 e-bike, you could type into Stacklist into your search, like bikes or biking, and you're going to see all the things that you had started to curate in your search. And then you can make that purchase, but you can also end up taking those cards, as we call them, for links and make a stack and put it on your personal profile and say, these are all the things that, this is what I ended up buying and the gear and accessories I bought with it. And now all the people that follow you can can take part in that as well.
Right, like some of the notes that I would have, and you don't have to have any, you could just have the restaurant, right? But you could then put the note,
Mhm.
definitely order the carpaccio here or whatever, you know what I mean? And so
Talk
in
to Matt.
mine,
He owns the place.
right, yeah, right, talk to Matt. But the other thing that I have, like, so for some of the home things like candles and diffusers and things that I love, you know, I put in the notes for one of them something like, this is a great one for like fall and winter, because it's got, right? Like you can maybe gather that by looking at the description of the scent, right? But that would be just my note in it for me. Or like, oh, I love this one in spring and summer, for the house.
Hmm.
So you could just put quick notes in there or real descriptions. Um, yeah, it seems so much more versatile. And it's in stacks. So let's just get into more of, even though we're not visually looking at this right now, take us through a journey visually of what this could be for the things
Hmm.
we could have on it.
So I like to think about it sort of a bit of a molecular structure. Like the card is the thing, right? That is the favorite iPhone case. That is the TV show you just found on Netflix. That's the book that you want to read. And essentially, a card is the link, but also some tags so that you can find them easily. Some notes if you were to send it to a friend, like I just finished this. Be sure to get past chapter 3. It gets better, like all of the context that you would want to send. And so what you can do then is basically take those cards and group them into a stack. A stack, essentially, think about it visually like a stack of index cards. And that was really where it came from, is I just want to be able to hand you a stack of index cards and go, here's my favorite things. And that's what's sort of missing from being over platformed and having, all of these links in your life that live everywhere, and you just kind of deal with it versus being able to recall those at any minute. So a card is essentially a link with context or notes, and then you group cards into stacks, and that creates a short code or a QR code or anything that you want to be able to send. And a stack can have its own context and notes. So I could send something to you that is a stack for New York and say, in the stack notes, here's all the restaurants we talked about. I also threw in some fun experiences you might want to try. And so what you're seeing is when you get that and someone texted it to you, you're seeing the name of the stack, which is like New York recommendations. You're seeing some notes with that context, like here's the things we talked about. And then you're seeing all of the cards in that stack that are related. And I loved your point about not being like having to sort of make a couple of different Google Docs for different friends for different contexts. If you think about having lots of different cards, you can select 2 or 3 in an arrangement, make a quick stack in 2 clicks and send it to a friend, and then select 5 or 6 other cards that may or may not contain cards from the first one and send them to a different friend. And that's what I think's missing, is that most times people try and make email drafts, or they have a draft email that they save for things like that, or
Hmm.
having to make a Google Doc or just text bombing your friend. And then all of those recommendations just sort of die in a text thread,
They do. They do. They
and you have to
totally die in that
remember.
text thread. And then you're like, oh, and then of course someone's like, will you send that to me again? You're like, mofo, I just sent that to you twice. I'm sure you
But
and I know
where?
that.
But where did you send it?
But where did you send it?
Um,
Well,
yeah,
here's the great thing. Like
exactly.
you just mentioned New York. I've got like, for example, and I'm going to be adding to mine because I just personally, everyone can go to my Instagram _Elle Russ and click in the link in bio. There'll be a link to my website and you'll see Stacklist. I have like my top outdoor escapes. That's a stack. And within that, I've got like, a hike or Hearst Castle or Santa Barbara, botanical gardens, some things in Southern California. And I'll be adding to it, not my secret hikes, folks. You ain't getting those. No, but under the top outdoor escapes, it'll say like, hey, here's the hidden gems in California, some beaches, trails, hikes. I can just literally, I'm looking at it right now on my phone. I can click share right there and just send it to you. And then I don't have to necessarily even curate for you, or they can be like, what's that one hike? And if it's in here, I click on that card and I can send it. But I can share the whole stack and it's just quick and easy. And I don't even have to curate it, right? I mean, people could just scroll through, like, here's my favorite LA restaurants. You can scroll through and figure out. um, but it's just so much easier. And then everything's contained in one place, like you said, which platform where. It gets a little bit tiring and annoying.
Yeah, definitely. And what's interesting? I'm gonna actually, I know we're not visual, but I'm gonna do this right now. I'm actually gonna text you my New
Well, you can
York
share your
list.
screen if you want, and then we can put it on YouTube.
Oh no, this is fine. But
Okay.
even just visual, like I'm texting you right now. I just texted you my New York list. So let's
Okay.
talk about lists. Lists are essentially groups of stacks.
Oh, that's right. I have a list too. Go ahead.
And so you think about, and it starts to, once you get it, it really starts to come together. If I have a stack of New York restaurants, that's great and easy. Um, and if I also have things to do with kids in New York, and also experiences like taking a helicopter ride or walking on the side of the Edge building. Those all, you can put those all in one stack, but after a while, it's nice to cut them up into categories. So for the list that I just sent you, it is essentially groups of stacks. So you
Yeah, and
are
let
getting,
me share what I see. It's like Kyle's New York list. By the way, it's all beautiful and visually and aesthetically so pleasing and user friendly. But anyway, you've got your New York restaurants. There's 12 of them in there. You've got New York experiences. You've got New York with kids. You've got 8 things to do, right? With kids. Like that might be the only thing I need to go to. I don't need to go through 500 restaurants, this, that, and the other. I can go right to the kid experience. You've got photographic locations. You've been a photographer for forever. So that's your New York list, right? You can have, and again, so this is someone who like, even if you're just a traveler and people are asking you stuff, or you're an influencer who does travel, like this is the move.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got that when people ask me broadly, "Oh, you lived in New York for a couple of years. I'm going next week. What should I do?" It's just such a broad question, right? Like, what and
You're
that
like, here's
sounds like,
all the
oh, that
things I know about. You choose.
exactly. But that is one of those that you could, yeah, YouTube lists. I mean, you could basically have YouTube lists for working out or health regimens or supplements or whatever. I mean, somebody says like, "Can you give me some recommendations for XYZ?" You have this link at your fingertips that you're like, yes, yes, I can send that to you. And you don't have to be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to sit down when I get home and just like make all this just for one person." So that's really like the utility of it. And what I love about what we're building, it is a social network on one side, but more than anything, it's just utility for the person to be able to take all the things that you curate in your life and put them in a place where you can group those and send those and share those really easily, or recall them for your own if you're
That's right.
doing, if you're doing planning and you've saved stuff for years. But the social part is really fun that where we talked about sort of link tree or link in bio is the ability to also, you save something that you find a hotel or a restaurant or something you like, and you save it in the Chrome extension or on the mobile apps. You just add it to a list, and all of a sudden that thing is on your link in bio. And so there's not what we're trying to do is collapse all the different platforms that creators have to use. So instead of needing Linktree and Genius Link and Like to Know It and ShopMy and all these different platforms just to share out the stuff that you're curating in your life, the ability to see something and go, "Oh wow, that's pretty cool," and click it and either save it for yourself or share it with the world in like one click. It starts to collapse how we think about, is this business software or is this personal software? It's more just you
It's
and
life.
all the
It's just
things
who.
that you like to, it's just life and the things that
Yeah.
you curate.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about a problem I had, let's see, year and a half ago. I went with my friend to Santa Barbara for the day. And, we walked the whole State Street and stuff like that. And we were looking for places to eat. And each place, like, nothing looked great until we landed upon this one place. And, like, the meal was amazing. It was, I, I can't freaking remember it, Kyle, And it's still, but
Yeah.
like, the thing is, though, is that now, when I'm there next time, or if I find it, I'm sure I'll find it. But like, then I can be you can be at there or be like, oh, great, just dot the name down, add it to your stack list. It's there because I would have liked it because I'm going to go to Santa Barbara again. And it would have been just nice to know where to park exactly. Knocking on now, I got to get on Google's map. I've got to scroll down satellite view of State Street to kind of find the corner, the vibe. How many blocks from the beach was it? This is like, why in the world of all of my thoughts? And
Mhm.
again, I really wish I would have written that down. So, like, I put in my stack list for Santa Barbara, I think I had there's this gluten-free bakery and there's Turkish coffee place. And now I'm going to like make sure I remember all the other ones. But as you go through life, these are the things, right? And even if you have a stellar memory, where you're going to go, you got to go grab a link for somebody. So it's just kind of like a life thing to have. It doesn't matter if you're using it for business, but it's helpful because, like you said, people are always asking me, well, what's a good vitamin D? What's a good thyroid support for me?
Right.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. Right. So there it is. You can go look at the health supplements and things like that in my stack list.
And we're trying to make it, our goal is to make this as fast and easy as possible to get all of your stuff in and to be able to recall it and to get it out to other people in very short order. And I start to find these moments where you don't, it's surprising the moments that pop up when I end up using it. I'll be out to drinks with someone and they're non-technical, but they're very business focused. And we start talking some technical, like, "Oh, you should use this app or you should use this website." I've had two people in the past like 3 weeks say, "You know what? I mean, this is great. I'm never going to remember all of this stuff." I just comes out naturally. I'm like, "It's fine. I'll send you a stack." And they're like, "Okay." And when I leave, I go walk back to the hotel. And between me leaving and getting to the hotel, I've made a stack and I've texted them. And then I just get this like mind blown emoji. It's sort of like, you literally just sent me all the things we just talked about. And that is what I think is like collapsing the overhead and the effort, but also collapsing the moment in which you want to share some of your favorite things, and you can with somebody really quickly.
Well, it's also helpful for me, and I know that a lot of people, this is not part of it, but I have a hand disability, man. I don't have time for this shit. Do you know what I mean? Like I think no,
Yeah,
really.
to be able to
I'm an
put things
efficiency.
together for people.
Yeah, I'm an efficiency person. And so
Hmm.
I don't need to have things that are going to require extra hand use for me that I already need for
Right.
things that we know I do, right? So this is another way. Again, it's just an efficiency thing, but for me, it's actually physically better. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I actually just want to make the argument everyone's on their hands and doing all their stuff repetitively nonstop. You guys got to watch out. Granted, I'm probably 1% of people that can't handle that fine manipulation, but people, my mom came to me recently and was like, I think I'm getting arthritis in my thumb. I'm like, how's your words with friends going? You on that all day? She's, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then she goes off words with friends and she's like, oh my gosh, I never empathized with you before until my hands start. What? You'd use your hands for everything. So save your hands. Save your extra work and mind space, just head space. We've got too many thoughts. We're already multitasking up there. This is just an easy way to do life. Um, what else have we not shared
Well,
about?
I think there's another part that's really interesting that we're really building in, which is thinking about when you share things and sort of creating a little bit of an affiliate, a micro affiliate economy. Well, for content creators, it is making the affiliate and the referral links easier and better by not having to have multiple platforms, but also just for the everyday person. Let's say I've got a case, which I actually do. I have this case. I love to the detriment of my phone. I love not having case on my phone. Um, but I actually did find a case that it is MagSafe on the back, and so it looks like your phone is without case. So it's still sleek and thin, but it does have like a leather backing on it. And when I show people this, they're always like, "Oh my gosh, send that to me." Well, the idea that I can send you that, and that I actually have an affiliate link on that, and that I may make $1 or two, or if it sits on my profile and over the next year or so, X number of people just find it and click it, and then I'm actually making little bits of recurring income for sharing that out with the world and for sharing it with other people. Um, the interesting thing about the affiliate link is that when you share a stack with someone, what they see on their end is actually every card says save. And what they can do is they can save it into their own Stacklist account. Well, when you do that, that affiliate link actually gets saved into the person's personal account, the same account they use to save recipes or YouTube videos or restaurants or whatever. So back to the 10 ways bicycle, if I'm not in the mood to buy that 10 ways bicycle right now, basically Ellie, who is the referrer of that bike, misses out on what, $130, something like that of commission because I wasn't in the mood to buy a bicycle the second that I saw that link. But if I hit save on a Stacklist card and it goes into my account, her affiliate link now lives, and the affiliate link lives on way longer than me having to make an impulse buy.
Love it. Love it. What are some
Um,
other ways people can creatively think about how they could use this? Or, I mean, I think we've kind of covered a lot. Um,
Real estate is another one that
oh,
I
there you
find
go.
that
Perfect. That's a perfect. Yeah.
real estate is one of those that I have real estate agent friends in New York, particular, that we actually sat down and talked about. Like, how do you send out prospective homes that you want to show to buyers? And we sat down and he said, well, I go on Street Easy and I find the places that I'm thinking of and I just email those links to the people. So now all of a sudden we have this email chain back and forth, but the end user has to basically open all of those links in their browser. And then do they save them in their browser or do they just kind of refer back to the email whenever they want to come back to it? But what you can do now is just basically take that, even if it wasn't just Street Easy, it could be Street Easy and Redfin and Zillow. Like you could take from any website and take those links and add context. So the first house or apartment could be this place has a lot of great light. It's a little bit smaller than you were wanting, but I think you'll love the location. So you can add this context that normally doesn't come with being able to share individual links like that. And then the end user receiver can just hit save and they don't have to set up a new account on Zillow and Redfin and StreetEasy
Right.
and all of these different platforms. And so all of the house hunting is being saved in the same place. And then you can basically collaborate on a stack with your partner. You both have the same stack and you're looking at it and sort of having. And the cool thing is that if you save, say, like a Google Maps link, when you click it on your phone, it just opens up in Google Maps on your phone and you start driving directions or subway directions or whatever it is. So again, it's like, but this isn't real estate software. This is really just,
But it's
it's an
perfect because
operating
I mean,
system for
actually,
links.
it's ideal for real estate because, well, and I'm assuming a lot of other things, obviously, but particularly for that, because if a real estate agent could just have a stack of like a certain neighborhood that they've got and like different neighborhoods, right? So that if you're someone looking in that neighborhood, I send you that stack, right? Versus the one 50 miles away
Mhm.
that I'm working on. But if you're down there, I'll send you that stack. That way you're not going through like homes 30 miles away. So you can have those, that's ideal for all the different areas people are. Or again, you could divide it up by number of bedrooms. Like here are the 2-bedroom houses we have. Here are the
Mhm.
three, right? There any which way that you think.
Or
Uh,
imagine a list. If I was your agent and you and I had a list, I could make multiple stacks, and one is the Upper West Side, and one is Brooklyn, and one is the Upper East Side, and each stack is basically a different location of things that we're looking at.
right.
And now I'm saving all of these locations into my account for easy recall. So those are just some of the ways that I think what's interesting is that from a business perspective, usually everybody's looking to sort of, well, we should just go focus on real estate and just, try and compete against real estate software. But if you see how this is useful in so many different areas of your life, it becomes much bigger. And to me, what I think is interesting is that somebody like Pinterest has 500 million users, but the use case is so specific to, you know, mood
Pinterest is
boards.
not, it's, by the way, Pinterest is not, oh God, it's not user friendly in my opinion. I don't know. There's something about that platform that is just not as intuitive, or I don't know. Yours is so much, I don't know. It's more intuitive.
Yeah,
Like it's more like a Mac. It's more like it's user friendly. You can go, oh, I get it, you know?
yeah, but it's amazing. Once people start playing with it, I've had lots of different people tell me different,
Mhm.
gardening YouTube videos or recipes. I saw a video the other day of someone on Instagram sharing how you can hack sending all your recipes to Mac reminders as a way to save your recipes. Like people are trying to figure out ways to save these things, and you're sending it to a reminder app. And
Right.
that's where you store all your recipes. And so being able to, again, the utility of saving all your recipes in one place for yourself, but then really quickly when someone says, hey, can you send me a couple of recipes or sharing it out with the world is just a couple of clicks and that it's not new software that you need.
Right. Or if you're a chef or like you're a YouTube
Uh-huh.
teacher, you're teaching cooking, right? Here's my favorite equipment, right? Here's my favorite uh herbs, whatever you would have
Yeah.
them kind of list stacks and do that. The applications are amazing for just personal life. You know what I mean? Again, like you said, like just
Yeah.
New York list is a perfect example of that. Or yeah, and I'm just new at it. And so I never can go take a look at my stack list, but I'll be adding to it over time and some of the different cities or other places that I've been and kind of, I'm going in there and kind of editing some of the notes and doing all of that. And once you're in there, it's really easy to rearrange things and change the photo and all the different things. It's just really quick and easy.
Yeah. Well, and you know what I'd love to do for your listeners is I'm going to set up a code right now. So,
Right.
and what I'll do is I'll set it up and it will be 4L50. And anyone that's listening that wants to set it up, it'll be 50% off for life on
Oh, damn.
plans. Yeah. So,
Yeah, get in on that now because this is a new, yeah, we're getting I
well,
was I feel like I'm one of the not testers, you've already tested it, but I'm like one of the
yeah,
newbies in there.
you're early. And
All right,
also
so
for
give
anybody
me that
that's
code again. It's going to be 4L. Is that the
for,
number 4?
no, it's just FORELLE 50.
Great. And they can go
And
to stacklist dot
dot app. Yep,
app,
stacklist dot
APP,
app.
everybody. Mhm.
That's it. Um, and one of the things talking about being early is if you sign up for the stack to the fully stacked, the stacked plan, let's see, 50% off would be $2.50 a month. If you
Hmm.
get that plan, then you can actually register a username. So, and because we're early, there's a lot of usernames. So if you want to come get, at Tom or whatever,
That's right.
one of
Oh,
those
that's a good
early
sell.
names,
Yeah. By the way, what's
Tom.
mine? Is mine at Elle or Elle Russ? Maybe we
Oh,
just
Russ.
damn.
Yeah,
Did Elle
exactly.
McPherson get in there before me?
Exactly. But yeah, and I use that a lot. Like when people ask me for my photo or video equipment, I'll just go, you know what, go to stacklist.app/Kyle. And it's easy enough to remember that people go to it and they're just right on my profile. And all my playlists and my video and editing stuff is on there, my New York, my Atlanta, like, and so it's so easy to be able to just like ping that out to a friend and all your stuff's on it. So the profiles are definitely a good bonus and you can grab that username.
Well, it's now great, Kyle, that you formed this company is now like everybody who knows you knows better than to text you for some useless recommendation because we know you're where you're going to tell them we know where it is. We know where it is.
Totally.
You're going to
You
be
know,
like FFL /Kyle, dude. Get over there. I don't have time for this.
I I've totally thought about like an ad campaign where you see somebody at a party, like, like sharing a trip that they went on, and someone goes, "Oh, can you send those to me?" And the person just like throws their phone right in the face, like, or just slaps them because it's like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, that's going to take me forever. But the remedy for that is, yes, I can. And now you just text a stack list.
From slap list to stack list.
Slap list. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go find that domain.
All right, yeah, definitely.
But
All right, stacklist.app. To see Kyle's, /Kyle to see mine /Elle Russ. And then the code is FORELLE50 to get 50% off for life. That's like $2.50 a month, you said, which is insane. You can't
mhm.
you can't get an account for Linktree, I mean, like, or any of these other places.
Yeah.
So get in there and also grab the username you want, or a bunch of them because yeah.
And then the fully stacked, which is the usually $15 a month, would be $7.50 a month at the
Okay.
50% off. And that one is usually more for content creators or anyone who sort of wants a sort of more higher end template. But also you have the ability to have analytics. So you can actually tell what stuff that you're sharing on your stacks and your profile is doing best. So you can tell how many people have come to your profile. Like you can tell, like for me, I can tell that I have this Leica Polaroid camera that is the best of anything on my page. And so really interesting to be able to also know that that's something that I could probably push on social and know that it would do better because you can tell, what interests people most of all the things that you're sharing.
I like that too. I forgot to ask you about the analytics. That's fantastic.
Mhm.
What else have we maybe not, before we go, what else
Well,
would you
what's
like
on
to
the
discuss?
roadmap? What's on the roadmap is we are working on our team's phenomenal, by the way. I can't even so phenomenal that I just went to our own website and I clicked share, and we have this new pop-up that will actually I'm going to text this to you so you can see it, but it's basically now whenever you hit share, um, you can see the all the options, like share it directly to X or to LinkedIn or to email or wherever. So the ability to like just really quickly share any of your stacks or lists out to people, and these are the sort of things that we roll out on a weekly basis. We're actually doing a whole redesign of the app, and we're making it more image heavy, not image heavy, but like image forward in terms of being able to sort of scroll through your stacks and lists. And we've taken a lot of feedback, your feedback, Al, and others. And we work on 1 week sprints, which for us basically means when we start the week, we say, you know what, we should go tackle from user feedback. And by the end of the week, it will be up and out on the site or in the apps. And so we're trying to work as fast as possible to make this as good as possible based on user feedback. So I'm also open. Here's one more thing. Speaking of 50, anybody who signs up and really uses it for a week or two and has some good feedback, you can go to stacklist.app/Kyle and just put time on my calendar for 30 minutes. And I'm happy to pay you $50 for that feedback. So if you get in there and use it and give me some feedback that we can make this better and better, I'm I'm totally down to pay for user feedback because that's the only way we make it better than all these other apps that are out there.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited about it and I'm happy to use it. And right now, I go on my computer and I just like kind of take a look and rearrange things. And I was in there the other day, sort of adding a few things. Cause again, you get that idea like, oh, I love that. I use this all the time. I should share that. You know what I mean? And so then I could just go quickly and then it's done and it's there and I don't even have to think about it. So check it out,
I
stacklist.app. And, that's it.
One
Awesome.
last thing
It's
I
just
just forgot to
Mhm.
mention, we actually have a concierge team. And so if you are a content creator or an influencer and you want help, we actually have a concierge team at VIP@stacklist.app. That's the email. And if you email there, our concierge team will help you build out stacks and build out lists and basically help you take your profile from 0 to 100 in, I don't know, a day or two. Because we're really trying to help
I can
people
attest
who
to that, by the way, because that's what you guys did with me. Yeah, it was amazing.
yeah. Yeah. Stacklist.app/. Elle Russ. Basically, that our concierge team helped Elle take that to the place where, and the whole goal of the concierge team is instead of being overwhelmed with like, this sounds great, but I don't have time to do that, is our team can basically help you get it to the place where all you have to do is replace your link in bio. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. And you didn't have to do anything. So our team can help you build out profiles.
Yeah, and while again, you guys are getting this in on the beginning. You get the username, you're getting 50% off, and this like personalized attention where someone just can like create and blow it out for you, and then you go because that's what they did for me, and then now I can go, oh, see, now I can add to that, or oh, I'll change the name of that. Now I can go in there and edit it, things like that. So, but just having it set up for you, and again, early stages, early benefits. So, I love that. Thanks so much, Kyle, for joining us, and for everyone else, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this show, I would so appreciate you leaving a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And to learn more about partner discounts on amazing products, visit ellruss.com/discounts.